Hey everyone, you're tuned into the False Graves podcast. I'm your host, AK Baby Doo, the Lightbringer.
The moon and star come to me through fire and war. Oh, oh, come near afar, come and look upon my heart, upon my heart. Oh, lay down your weapons, it is not too late for my mercy. Oh, oh, come and look upon my heart, upon my heart. Oh, 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 I'm a god, how can you kill a god? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. I'm a god. How can you kill a god? Shame on you, sweet Marabar. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god, god. I'm a god. I'm a god. I'm a god. Well, the moon and star come to me through fire and war. Oh, oh. Come near afar, come and look upon my heart, upon my heart. Oh, lay down your weapons, it is not too late for my mercy. Oh, oh.
So, this is day 108 of trying to be more popular than ass and titties. My co-host, the Furman, as usual, happens to be running late. Let's get him on the phone. See how he's doing. See what he has to say. He might be in, very sticky predicament. His life could be in jeopardy. Hey man, you're on live right now. I've got you on. What's going on?
Well, I ran into that age-old problem of having an ambulance be on your street.
I see. Are you all right?
No, I lost an arm and a leg, but I'm trying to get out of here, but this ambulance rider, they just won't let it happen.
Are you still on your street?
Nah, I'm a little bit past that. I'm on the highway now.
Oh man, you're really close then.
Yeah, being over the ice wall is kind of shit because the tires never fucking work.
Yeah, people are wanting to know, where are you? Did you hear about no tax on tips?
I have not. What do you mean no tax on tips?
No tax on overtime also.
Oh. So now's the time to go ahead and get into like a job that'll give you like double, quadruple overtime.
Yeah. So I'll see you soon.
All right, man.
All right, see you soon.
Tell the kids I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
All right.
So tonight, while we wait, I think it would be a good time to discuss my history of debauchery and crime. I was talking to somebody the other day about my criminal past, and I figured it might be funny to recount some of these events. So, even though I've matured a little, I'm no stranger to controversy or problematic behavior. So, we'll get started with the hometown pizza incident. So, when I was younger, I was particularly impatient. Even today, I'm still very impatient. But I used to have a lot more, let's say, sporadic behavior. And there was this time where I decided to place a pickup order at a place called Hometown Pizza. I had placed this order like very, very early before I went to pick it up. It was like 45 minutes if not more, before I actually got to the location to pick up the pizza. So I get there, I'm waiting in line. I notice there's a big line in the store, and I'm in the drive-thru. They have a drive-thru window to pick up the pizza. So I'm already there for like 5 minutes. There's a little bell. I ding it. The lady comes to the window, and she says, "You're going to have to wait your turn before I can get to you." I'm like, okay, that's fine. So while I'm waiting my turn, I notice that customer after customer in the store is getting handled before me, right? So one by one, customers are getting addressed. I'm not. I know my food's already ready. Surely it's been like an hour at this point. So I'm waiting, and I see the entire line that was in the store get cleared, and the new customers that have come in are beginning to get handled before me. So when I see that, I ding the window again, no response. The lady's not coming to help me. I get very agitated. So I have somebody in the car with me, and I go ahead, get in the driver's seat. I'm going to go in, handle this. So I proceed, get out of the car. They get in the driver's seat, and I decide I'm just going to walk in and get my shit. So as soon as I get in, I'm like, fuck this line. I'm just going to walk straight to the kitchen and get my food. So I walk right around the line, straight to the back of the store where there's somebody in the back making the food. And I yell out my order. "Where's the, XX food? Where is it?" And they point, right to the shelf that it's on. I grab it, and I'm walking out, and I hear the lady yell out, "Don't let him leave. He hasn't paid. He hasn't paid." So, I don't want to steal the food. I've got principles, right? So I pull out my wallet. I take out two $20 bills because I'm sure the pizza isn't going to cost $40. And I throw the two $20 bills at the clerk, and I scream out, "That'll cover it." And then I walk out, get in the car, drive away. And that's just the kind of activities that I used to get into. And from that point on, I was kind of blacklisted from Hometown Pizza. It wasn't like on paper or officiated or anything, but anytime I went there in the future, it seemed like they refused to give me any service. And now maybe that's just their natural, bad service, but I feel like they remembered me for some reason. Especially since it was the same lady every time that I happened to come back. And with that story wrapping up, the fur man has officially entered the building.
I can't believe that you started without me.
Yeah, I decided to start out with telling some of my crime stories from the past.
Oh, did you include the one with the dead hooker?
I haven't talked about that one yet. I figured I'd start small.
Just like petty larceny.
And build up. I'll save some more of these stories for later.
And that was story time with AK Baby Doo.
So, how's it going?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I have been running around like a cat on fire.
That's unsurprising. That seems to be your general mode of operating.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like just last night, like I got hit with like a beam of brilliance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enlighten me.
Okay, so I'm thinking about making a movie. It's about like this nice guy, and he accidentally starts a cult.
Okay, as nice guys do.
Yeah.
Because all cult leaders are nice guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jim Jones, he was just passing out Kool-Aid. How was he supposed to know there was poison in there?
He didn't. Somebody spiked it.
Could you actually imagine if that was the truth? Just comes out, how's everybody enjoying the grit? Oh.
It is true, to be fair. When you're the name of something on that level, if it's actually like an advisor who spiked it, no one would believe it.
Yeah.
Like, for all we know, Jim Jones didn't order the spike. It was just some chick who was done with his bullshit.
Oh, you're going to have 12 wives? Now you're going to have no wives.
Everybody's dead.
Good luck trying to explain that one to the U.S. government. Good on you.
Yeah. Good on you.
Yeah, but like it's been something that's been kind of rooting around in my head for a while, so I've been like on the fence. But I'm
So you have a team of producers,
uh
writers. Are you the writer?
yeah, I'm gonna be the writer and
The
director,
director?
and
Okay.
probably the cameraman too, if I'm being honest.
Are you so you're not going to be in it?
If I need be, but again, like I've got bare bones on this.
Okay. So what's the concept?
I don't know if I want to do straight horror or do like British horror, which always has like kind of like a dry wit to it. It's like
Yeah.
I want this to be something that people will watch.
Fair. That tends to be the goal
Yeah,
of a movie creator.
and I mean it's not going to be an Avengers Endgame. I already know that.
It'll probably be better than that.
I got my fingers crossed.
Did you ever watch Midsummer?
Yeah, the hippie chick in the Viking place.
Yeah, when you were talking about it has like a dry wit to it. It made me think of that movie. Cuz that movie, the horror aspect was basically centered around random disturbing imagery cuz the movie's kind of bright and upbeat overall.
So it does like that flip it on its head kind of deal.
Well, it's a pretty movie and there's not a lot of horror.
I don't know. I mean, like with comedy, I kind of get it, but like whenever somebody does that, it screams a little bit hard. Like we couldn't make this movie scary enough.
So you think that was a horror movie? Like it was a scary movie?
If you're the guy that gets caught fucking that other chick, because then you get sewn inside a bowl and then you die. I mean, like
Yeah,
that.
I mean that was rough. Sure. But it fell in line with the whole cult.
Yeah, and I think like that's more scary to me than anything that really happens in the movie is like the group think where it's like, he's a witch. You know? I think she might have a point.
Yeah. I do think the group turning against you is one of the scariest things that anyone could be victim to.
Yeah, and that's like a bare minimum monkey brain kind of thing. It's like there are more of them than there is of me. I only got the two hands. I can maybe, if you're lucky, if you punch twice on each.
That's why I don't like groups. Too much risk.
Yeah.
You know people who are like, we're safer in groups?
Mhm.
I'm like, nah, fuck that.
That only works in serial killer movies. That's the only time.
Yeah. I'm not with it.
I'm not gonna lie, that's probably one of my favorite tropes in horror movies. It's like, hey, we need to find the bad guy. Let's split up, gang. I just want Shaggy and Scooby in the background just shaking their heads, just nah.
Well, that's because serial killers actually have superpowers when they're fighting a group, but when it's one-on-one, they're limited.
Okay, that explains the last Halloween movie.
It drains their energy reserves, so it's a more fair fight.
It's Jesus. Okay, so weird question. Out of all like the horror movies, which one would you least want to get caught in?
Definitely Saw. Actually, because there's the gruesome aspect, which would lead me. That's what led me to say that. However, there's not a huge element of surprise in the sense that okay, you might die randomly in other horror movies, but in Saw, you're gonna get like a path.
If you can muster it up,
Yeah, a path out.
Yeah, look, I love Saw the movie, but like the concept behind it. When people tell me, actually, John Kramer didn't kill anyone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hate that saying.
There's a lot of Saw enthusiasts, elitists out there. Like, yeah, I've heard that before. And then I've heard one of the takes was, look, man, it's really a positive movie because it teaches the lesson: appreciate your life. Like, if you don't appreciate your life, then you're gonna get a reason to appreciate it.
Yeah, stick your testicles in a blender, and then you'll appreciate life more when they come back out. It's simple.
And I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, we're gonna press skip on that. Like, oh, he doesn't technically kill anyone. Well, he also left a room where there was a loaded shotgun and a baby. I'm not gonna be like, well, he spared them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
What about you?
I would have to say, up until the last movie, it was Michael Myers. Like the guy from Halloween.
Yeah.
Like the last movie destroyed him. Like okay, so the setup is that this guy's been hunting this family for like 10 some odd movies, right?
Right.
Okay, so we're all pretty well adjusted to that. Now, in this time, he has taken a fence post to the chest, bullets, arrows, a lot of punches, really. He's been ran over, burned, stabbed, shot again. And he's even been rammed off a roof from a 2-story building.
Yeah.
And you'd figure that'd be enough to kill him, right?
I mean, no. Can't be.
Yeah, no. Apparently, the movie before this one, he spent the entire time healing up from that after taking out like a group of firemen.
Yeah.
Mind you. He spends the entire movie basically being bitch slapped by a babysitter who accidentally killed a kid. Spoilers. Named Corey.
Well, that's good. That's a good name for a killer. Corey is a killer's name, to say the least. You meet a guy named Corey, you better stay strapped. Period.
Stay strapped or get clapped.
Or get Corey'd.
Oh my god, dude. I'm sorry, but like it's so bad to watch a movie where like the main guy from all this series has to like either pass a baton, and it's typically to their unknown kid.
Yeah. Horror movies. I don't watch horror movies.
I do. I like to watch a little bit of everything.
What's funny to me, so I have a bit of a weird relationship with horror movies and just dark entertainment in general. One of the reasons I used to love as a kid, I would watch horror movies as like that was my favorite genre, but something turned me off to it. And every now and then, like 1 out of 10 will actually like stay with you, and you actually get like that
once in a lifetime kind of movie. Like when you
watch. I mean, like you'll actually be scared that night.
Oh yeah. Well,
like, it's very rare, but when it happens, I'm like, it's not worth the loss of sleep.
Well, I mean, like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like there hasn't been a scary movie out there to keep me up at night. I got, amphetamines for that. Like, no, but like monster movies always boil down to monster attack, figuring out why monster attack kill monster.
It's a hard concept, guys.
Yeah, this gonna take you some big brains to break it down.
Very. So so today they were talking about there's a bill proposed by the Trump administration, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on tips.
But that would make sense. Like people that live off tips would be able to keep said tips.
Yeah, well my thought is, okay, if you're already working and then you're like, I'm gonna work more, right? Well, guess what? Then the IRS has to work more also. So it makes sense that overtime stay taxed, right? Doesn't that make sense?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, like there's a part of me that's like, the IRS is going to have to stay more open, allegedly, because if 25 people from Doge can decimate the entire system, like you guys are that inept. And these are like 20-somethings.
Yeah.
We could put in place like a different algorithm.
Yeah.
And then boom, we're already set. I mean, I know it's pie in the sky kind of thinking, because who knows how long it's going to take.
I feel like, and this might be overselling it, but I feel like the majority of tip-based workers don't report it on their taxes already. I really believe that.
Yeah, no, there ain't no fucking way.
Like, they just don't report it.
I think that it goes a little bit further than that.
Like,
I think
cash tips, in my opinion, do not get reported.
Well, that's like them asking you, did you get a secret special bonus at the end of the year? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's just what you do. It's just what you do. If it's not on paper,
it doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
It's kind of like getting a refund for, like a laser tag arena.
Hey, we're up to 6 viewers. If you're just tuning in, nice to see you. Leave us a comment. Trying to fill out where you're at in this. ecosystem, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's very eco this evening. And some system, but mostly eco.
Oh, it's so eco in here. We have a turtle in the background over there, and he is actually 100% plastic free.
So Trump's putting tariffs on the European Union.
Still?
No, he just put them in. No, it was Canada, Mexico, China, but Europe just got included.
How the fuck? What does Europe import exactly?
Well, it's export.
Oh, still.
I'm sure they export. I mean, like Louis Vuitton handbags.
Oh.
But anywho, I wanted to talk about it because power dynamics, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I hate that I think so much this way, but I'm a big believer in power dynamics as the underlying, way the world works. If you have no leverage, at some point you will be told by somebody who has leverage, go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah, that's inevitable.
And there's nothing you will be able to do about it.
Yeah, that's kind of like circle of life.
And so, we've got Zelensky of Ukraine, Putin, Russia, European Union, who's been backing Ukraine also. And we've been funding Ukraine against the war in Russia. So the deals are starting to, like, the gears are starting to turn. And it's looking like the U.S. and Russia are going to make a deal independently of Ukraine or Europe that forces the war to come to an end. And people are upset about this because we're effectively forcing Ukraine's hand at this point. We're going to tell Ukraine you're done with the war because we have stopped funding it at this point.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't we sink like $6 billion some odd dollars into this shit?
Yeah. And Trump's got plans to make a deal with Putin. And so, but here's where it's interesting to me, is we've cut funding. Trump's come out against Zelensky, saying he's a dictator, saying he needs to end this war. And Zelensky said, referencing Putin and Trump making a deal, Ukraine will not be subject to any deal made without our involvement, and we cannot be imposed upon either. And the amount of hubris that a statement like that carries after $600 billion or million or billion or whatever of your war was given to you by us.
Basically your entire country.
You say a deal can't be imposed upon us. And I know when you talk to somebody like Trump that way, you're fucked.
Oh yeah.
He will fuck you.
He's going to take that as a personal challenge. You can't? You won't?
And so Zelensky there's somebody commenting about it. I'll get to that.
Word.
So Zelensky had said, well, guess what? If the U.S. won't fund us anymore, we're going to get funding from Europe. And Europe agreed. We're going to help Ukraine continue this war that nobody wants now. If the U.S. isn't going to be nice and give free money anymore, we're going to do it. And this is what I mean by power dynamics. Trump didn't like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, kind of takes.
And everyone's like, Europe's always been our ally in the East. Europe's our ally. And Trump is like, you fucking filthy bitches. If you give a fucking dime to Ukraine, I will tariff you into oblivion. You won't have a country anymore. I'll literally partner with Russia. We will own Europe and the Ukraine if you're going to act like this. So that's effectively like what's happened.
Yeah, this kind of feels like a story about a stepdad chasing out after a cracked out daughter.
But like, I don't understand the position. I don't understand that way of thinking. I'm a fighter to my core, so I understand being disagreeable. But I also understand when I'm completely in the submissive position, when I'm completely fucked.
Yeah,
and you have to make a concession.
And you gotta.
If I'm Zelensky, he's in an unfair position. He's the leader of a country in a proxy war. He's effectively a puppet for the U.S. to picket Russia.
Well, it would have been Hunter Biden, but
yeah. And he's got the audacity to say, if the U.S. won't fund this war, we'll just get the money from somebody else.
That is the amount of hubris on that. It's just fucking. It's insane.
I'm convinced the war is going to end at this point with Trump and Putin literally flying to Ukraine and spanking Zelensky right on his ass on the live stream.
Oh God, dude! Could you imagine just them high-fiving right before they do it? Yeah.
Yeah. And there are some people who are like, we should never ally with Russia. We should never cozy up to Russia. I'm like, listen, power is what dictates what's fair and what isn't in this world. And the only true superpowers are China, Russia, US. And you know why?
Because we have a lot of boats.
Because they're the countries that can fucking bomb like nuclear bomb the world into oblivion.
Yeah, and it actually happened. Like China, I've got no problem believing that. But whenever, I think it was like the early 2010s.
Yeah.
Remember how everybody was like, "Oh, North Korea's launching missiles."
Oh, yeah. North Korea always does missile launches, and they don't have the
oomph.
Yeah, they don't have it. They don't have it. But my point is, when your country has enough nukes that you could effectively end the world if they all went off, I don't care whether you're a good or bad person. You actually definitively earned a seat at the bargaining table.
Okay, so you have enough bombs to kill everybody that ever was, will be, or could be.
Okay,
let's
talk.
Let's hear him out, guys. I mean, I feel like he's bringing a lot to the table.
Yeah, let's talk. But meanwhile, a country like Ukraine, with no money to fight their own war, no land, no fucking anything, wants to come and talk shit. I cannot even fathom the thought process. They must be thinking about morals. They must be thinking, oh, it's morally incorrect to accept defeat. Morals don't exist on the upper levels of power. Morals do not exist on the upper levels of power. They don't. Maybe one day.
Yeah, because
when we work this shit out, maybe.
Yeah, but the problem is that we thought we had this worked out, and then Russia was like, all right, it's been peaceful for about 10 minutes. Let's go.
Morals. Morals. That's probably the underlying hubris of it. It would be wrong.
No, I think Zelensky, he was hanging out with his bros in Ukrainian parliament, and they were like, you won't go to war. And he was like, bet you I will.
And dude, I watched this video recently I'd never seen. And it told me a story that I didn't know, and I understand it. Okay, they're at a summit. There's like a European summit. Putin's there. This is before the war. Putin's talking about an agreement he wants to make. I believe it already happened. Or it's the Minsk agreement. If you don't know what that is, look it up.
We have Google.
Yeah. But Zelensky's across the table at this venue, and he's laughing at Putin as he's speaking. He's laughing at his desk. And I'm just like, Putin took that shit personally. I'm telling you, he took it personally.
I bet he was like over on the other side just...
And I'm like, who's fucking laughing now? Yeah, who's fucking laughing now?
Not him. Dude, the worst part is like, if he backs out after all this death, like after all the neighborhood bombings and shit like that, dude.
If the war ends, I can tell you how it's going to end now. There's been enough negotiation. I know how it's going to end. Ukraine's going to concede what they've lost to Russia. It'll become Russian territory. They won't join NATO. That'll be permanently off the table. And a mineral deal will be made jointly with Russia and Ukraine. That'll give a lot of economic prosperity to the US, Russia, and Ukraine. And everyone can ride off into the sunset pretending they made money and jerk themselves off about some bullshit fucking war where 50 million dudes went to the meat grinder. But thank God we got some fucking minerals out of it.
Yeah, I mean...
That's the end of the war.
Well, see, like, that's the reason. Because, like, the minerals that they're going to be mining, I bet they will realign their chakras. Guaranteed. If they find amethyst, this war's done.
Yeah. Exactly. It's done. I mean, look... And to be fair, for those at home, really, what would you do? 30 million lives? or a couple amethysts. Okay.
Ooh, that's a tough choice. I mean, if I didn't look at my ruby every day, it's about the size of like a baby's head. You know, it's rather large. I would be completely out of whack right now. I'd be feeling melancholy.
Yeah.
But I absorbed the light from the ruby. Now I'm A-okay. I'm a little late, but I'm A-okay.
So we'll see how it plays out, but I'm always in awe of, so I like to watch good players. I spot a good player from a mile away. Like somebody who operates on a logical level, calculated, killer. I see it. Zelensky is a fucking dumbass to the maximum degree.
I don't know. When we had Joe Biden up there and then the Chinese government they didn't mince words. They were like, fuck you. I could push you over and break your hip.
Well, Biden was a puppet to somebody. Nobody really knows who, but he was a puppet.
Did you hear they're actually releasing the footage with that guy in the green suit behind him moving him?
It's that ventriloquist guy who got really popular.
Yeah, Jeff Durham.
Yeah. That was the president this whole time, guys.
That would actually explain a lot, because that was a fucking joke.
Yeah. So yeah, Europe, our allies are getting taxed now.
Man.
And you got people on the left, of course, saying, they've always been a great ally to us. Why are we punishing them? Well, okay, because here's what ally means. Here's what it means when you have the leverage position. It means you do what you're fucking told, and when you stop, you get fucked.
Yeah,
that's what ally means when you're the subservient one in the nation power dynamic.
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie. Our government right now, the way that it is, we only take like 0.1% of the people from the general populace of those who actually sign up.
Europe is like, we're going to retaliate against these tariffs. The U.S. isn't going to have the last laugh.
Kind of feels like them. We go in for a haymaker, they come back with a...
You're locking your own people up for posting memes on fucking Twitter, and you're going to retaliate against us?
Okay, I'm going to need some... They're what now?
Yeah, if you don't know, there are multiple countries in Europe that have incarcerated people for offensive memes.
Okay.
Like, police will show up and arrest you.
So you can swat yourself with a bad meme?
Yes, you can.
Oh, fuck that, dude.
Phil, if you're still in the chat, Dark Meat Collins, let him know. Like, he knows.
I mean...
Yeah. You can get busted for a meme. You can get, he goes, that was in the UK. So, geography lesson real quick, not to flame you. The UK is a part of Europe. That's a continent.
Yeah, it pisses all over the place. It's very incontinent.
But yeah, so that's a thing. And there were some people getting more time posting hate speech about a crime than the actual criminal. So like an illegal immigrant might come into your country and shank some civilians. Mm-hmm. Speaking, I've got a story that I got a rift off from this.
Tits.
But and then you might post on Twitter, fuck those immigrants. I hate immigrants. And you might get 15 years, but the guy who just shanked Susie and Sally gets 5.
Oh God, I couldn't be in those shoes. I couldn't. I'd be that one guy in the prison like, this is bullshit.
Don't know the initial context, whether the other... So here's the story. This is a great story. I don't know whether they were both driving or if one of them... But one of them was in a Tesla. Some guy's driving a Tesla. Some guy's in the road or in a car holding him up. Honks at him. Road rage commences. The guy who got honked at pulls out a samurai sword and proceeds to mow the driver down. Or the driver had the samurai sword, but somebody gets mowed down with a samurai sword. This happened somewhere in Europe. Left in the ditch, like with fatal wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he barely survives. The guy barely survives. He's what do they call it? Handicapped for life.
Handicapable.
Yeah.
I think they like to be called.
And the guy who attacked him with the samurai sword only got like 3 years and some probation.
You know, the judge was sitting up there like, somebody brake checked me on coming into work. I can kind of see what this guy's putting out there. We've all, just had a lethal weapon in our car and somebody just turned right in front of us.
You pull out a samurai sword.
I mean, that's how I handle road rage over the ice wall.
Hey, I'm with you.
But to be fair, polar bears kind of capped me on that.
Yeah, those are nasty. So I was looking up some car stats the other day. Me and my girlfriend are always talking about how Kias are such assholes on the road.
Mm.
And there's a stat, at least there's a stat that AI uses when you ask questions about car deaths.
Yeah.
And I just love this acronym. But car brands have a tracker, death per billion miles.
Billion.
DPB, death per billion. Well, it's like Ford has how many death per billion miles?
Who's gonna drive 1 billion miles?
It's a statistic.
I know. I'm just saying, like, that's just. That seems like a really weirdly high number.
For drive, you probably put in over 100,000 miles in your life alone.
Oh yeah, driving from Texas to Idaho to Florida.
So 10 people, that's 1 million miles.
Oh yeah.
So 1,000 people.
Yeah, and see, like that's what I'm saying. Like I can understand
sense.
1 million, but 1 billion. This kind of feels like a yen situation.
But so Kia is the most likely car to die in. It's the most likely car to die in.
I want to know if that's from like getting shot, and that just happens to be popular in LA.
Well, a fatal accident, so not just like you shot up fentanyl or anything.
No, shit. If we had that one on the statistics, Ford would be fucked.
The Kia fentanyl.
See, I'm actually surprised it isn't Ford. Like the truck.
No, Ford wasn't on it, even on the top 3.
That is surprising.
The top 3 was Tesla, Kia, and even though this is a subsidiary of Dodge, Ram specifically was the 3rd. So, and also you're almost 3 times more likely to have a DUI if you drive a Ram. But the stat I wanted to get to was the lowest death rate of any vehicle is a Pontiac. You're 5 times more likely to die in a Kia than a Pontiac. 5 times.
That is
huge.
That's fucking weird. It's kind of like the most reliable car for the longest was a punch buggy, but then it moved over to the Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
Like you can't, like a 1990s manual, you can't kill that son of a bitch.
Yeah. I
actually watched a guy hit a deer and 2 walls and not a dent on that fucker. So, but weird question. Didn't Tesla only come out with cars like 3 years ago? Something like that?
Yeah, so Tesla is definitely on pace to probably take it. What is Kia Boys? I've never heard of Kia Boys. I'm gonna look that up.
That is not a real thing. If it is, it's in the Urban Dictionary, and you don't want to know. I'm still trying to retire some brain cells after finding out what a Charizard is.
Oh yeah, sure enough.
Gonna say, do not recommend.
Okay, this is hilarious. So the Kia Boys was a gang of people who would steal Kia vehicles because there was a well-known hack to basically, what do they call it?
Unlock the car?
No, when you like start a vehicle without the key, the wiring, some word for it.
Hot wiring.
Yeah, hot wiring Kias. All you had to do was have a USB connector and an empty key slot.
I would pay anything for the guy to just like stick it into like the jack for the fucking...
It's so bad that apparently in 2023, some insurance companies stopped offering policies for Kias.
Damn.
And State Farm declared 105 Kia models ineligible for new insurance. That is insane.
They were just like, no. Just straight no.
Kias are so much of a nuisance. They're not even insurable.
Like we would, but we both know what's about to happen.
Imagine you go to a Kia dealer and the salesman is like, do you not want to pay for insurance?
Please say yes. Please say yes.
Because, I mean, you know how it's legally mandatory.
Yeah. Which is weird, but...
Well, with a Kia, they don't even offer it.
They just come out, here's your car. Okay, so what am I going to owe in, insurance? You'll be fine.
I'm curious, how that plays out in a court. Like, you get a car that can't be insured, but the state says you have to have insurance. I think they'd waive it. Or just shut.
Depending on, like, how badly they fucked up. Like, I feel like if they ran their car into a kindergarten, they're going.
Yeah. Good old Kia.
Good Lord. It kind of reminds me of that one episode of King of the Hill. Hey, Hank, you know what Ford stands for? Found on a roadside ditch. Or Fiat.
Yeah.
Fix it again, Tony. Fuck.
Hank was a Ford guy.
Dude, that guy... I aspire to be somebody like him one day.
To be like Hank, you gotta be principled.
Oh, I meant a cartoon, but yeah.
One day.
Well, I mean, if the internet will hurry the fuck up. Which, by the way, here's a weird thought. Over the last 2,000 years, the leaps in technology, isn't it weird how we slowed down after we figured out what we were doing? Like, don't get me wrong, the computer, laptops, and cell phones, all very high tech. But does it feel like it's kind of like reeling in for another big fucking wave of nothing?
Well, I think yes, to a degree, but I think we're always like that. And so, like, with, let's say, the .com boom, you remember they talked about, we were kind of like growing up when that happened.
The Y2K incident.
But, like, back in the day, like, it was Yahoo, and there was no Google, and it was...
AOL online.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it took, 15 years or more before the actual big players of the internet came in to be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Like those is what really came out of the internet.
Yeah. Were
those things. And so I feel like AI is the new .com in the sense that it's a really big initial whiff of like adrenaline, but we're about to flatline, but not as long. I think everything is speeding up, but I do agree with you. I think there will be like this lull that comes in the next year or two.
Yeah.
It'll kind of die out a little.
Yeah, because like up until like 2 weeks ago, they were like a robot tried to break free during an event. So I think that we actually might be in the lull now. Yeah,
well, I think the companies who are behind AI are desperately trying to make sure we're not about to enter into that lull. But I do think we're definitely risking it. Somebody, and this is, to a point I wanted to make. Somebody goes Grok, which is Twitter's AI chatbot, is more reliable than Google. I really haven't used Google outside of like trying to find a business's hours since ChatGPT came out.
Yeah, because
I don't need it.
Yeah, there's no need for it.
Like, you get so much more information from ChatGPT or an AI bot than you would from Google.
Oh yeah. And speaking of Google, weird retro topic I want to bring up to you. Okay, so remember about a month ago, all the porn sites had to do like the age verification, show me your driver's license, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
They do realize, like, if they just go on Google with the search filter off, they can still see boobs.
I mean, yeah.
So then my question becomes, would it be legal to make Google do the same thing? Like, you got to show your driver's license, how old you are, all that, if you want to see anything.
Right. You'd think it should be. At the same time, I'd argue it's probably one of those situations where Google's too big to, you know, when you're that big, they're like, oh.
You know, I'm not going to say anything. I didn't see anything.
But no, you're right. You could Google search porn and go to the image section, and
it's right fucking there.
Yeah, even if you're in those states that make you show an ID now.
Well, I mean, all you have to do is get a VPN, and then you're in Germany.
Yeah, but then you got, you know, that's at least an added step.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie. If I have to do more than 3 clicks to find it, I don't want it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I think this shit's so fucking silly.
Silly?
Yeah, dude, absolutely ridiculous.
I think, you think AI is going to replace the porn industry?
I hope not, because people are weird.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping not to accidentally run across one of those pages.
I hope AI does replace the porn industry. I don't like I don't like money for fucking. I don't like it on principle.
Well, I mean, you're going to put a lot of people out on their knees on the road.
Good. Like, that's my argument. Good.
God, dude, actually, that might have saved a lot of problems, because could you imagine, like, you're a porn baby? I just, there'd be a level of just...
Yeah.
Like, oh, that lady that slept with 1,000 dudes?
Yeah.
Anna Burns, something like that?
Yeah.
She's feeling the burns.
Yeah. I'm just like, imagine that they made no money off that.
Oh, God. Dude, I'd burn down every studio that I'd ever come across. If I sleep with 1,000 men...
And you don't get paid.
Oh, I'm getting paid. There's no way around that.
But no, I'm really hoping things do get so advanced that industry can effectively be ran without humans.
I mean, I'm hoping for it too, but I've seen a lot of AI pictures where they have like fingers.
And this will, you know, I'm sure this is an offensive comment, but that'll bring back the sex work industry to a very high level. Keep in mind, if porn gets so good digitally, like AI, all the people who made money in it are gonna have to go back to like doing the hard work. The hard work.
Like construction work or pizza delivery guy?
Like dealing it on the street. Like you're actually gonna have to, you know what I'm saying?
I hear it. It's fucking silly. I could just imagine somebody like in their room. They're like, do I want to dine in or eat out?
Well, here's my thought process. Okay, it's unfairly rewarded for what it produces. Porn has hit a point in society, it's unfairly compensated for what it produces.
Yeah.
It doesn't produce enough good.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, not just that, like the producers of it and shit like that.
If AI can effectively beat it at its own game, it can give a product that people would rather watch instead of real people. It'll force all the digital porn creators to turn to either real work or prostitution. And prostitution is a massive step in the right direction. It's still wrong, but it's far closer to the raw reality of the work.
Like, I'm just here to go ahead and catch a nut and then catch my bus. Fucking.
It's more human.
I feel like out of all the services, yeah, that's the most human. But, like, I really don't want to see anybody in my family in that line of work. Like, you're driving down and you're like, oh, hey, Uncle Dave, hey.
Well, who in your family would be in that line of work?
I don't want to say names, but, like, there's a couple that I worry about.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like if somebody in my family were to do something like that, it'd be like the daughter at the strip club situation. It would be like, I can never come back. Or you're going to have to quit.
Yeah. It's morally wrong, but my biggest gripe with OnlyFans and all that is the lack of production.
Mm.
It just doesn't produce a beneficial output.
Yeah, but it's also subscription based woohoo material.
Yeah.
If you're paying money for it, you in any capacity, you need to figure things out.
Yeah. I've thought about starting up like an OnlyFans, what do you call it? Addiction program. Like, to get guys off of OnlyFans. I've thought about how I would do it because I know a lot of guys who pay for it have like self-esteem issues.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't know if I could market it well, but I'd want to do it like my dream would be this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guy contacts me, hey, I'm addicted to OnlyFans. I need your help. I want to turn my life around. Step one would be, I want you to take every subscription you have to OnlyFans.
Just wipe the board.
You're going to start sending that to me instead. You could go, well, why wouldn't I just keep it? You're not going to keep it because you need to lose that utility. You need to lose that money. You don't deserve the money for starters. So you're going to give it to me so you can get used to it not going to something else.
And you just pocket that as like initial cost, or do you keep them on it? Because like, what if this dude's got like 14 OnlyFans subscribers?
No, I don't keep him on it forever. Like at some point he can come off, but he gives me the money instead because I'm better for him than OnlyFans. Period. And then I'd like to set up some other model where they sign off permission for me to come physically abuse them, like at their homes,
just
if they mess up.
Just kick the shit out of them.
So like, boom, he messed up. He subscribed to another OnlyFans. Well, a part of the agreement is I can now come to his house, and he has to allow me to just physically assault him,
just wail on him
with no repercussions to me.
Shit.
Like, I'd love to start this program.
That is a hard program. That's going to be an uphill.
I would be smiling from ear to ear every single day getting to do that job.
Yeah, well, you get to beat the shit out of people. Like, yeah.
And take their money, and the most important thing, do good.
You sound like a bully on the fucking playground right now.
It fits all my things, though. Making money, hurting people, and still being a good person.
Were you in the mafia as a child?
No, but those are the three things I like to do.
I guess. Like it feels like you should be saying it like this.
So yeah, man, maybe I'm feeling inspired. I might have to try and set this up. I know I'd have to do a light version of the assault part, but I'd work, maybe like a taser option.
And here in our platinum package, we have the no face or genitals. But in the bronze package, I'm allowed to shoot you in either. So I would go for the platinum.
I feel like there'd be some fucking sickos who end up just getting off more to me coming to kick their ass.
Oh, God.
Than the OnlyFans.
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie. If somebody's just like, you're beating the shit out of them and then you're hitting their ribs, you're working them over, just, oh, no, we're done here. Oh, no,
But yes, if you're interested in joining, hey, I got somebody in the chat saying it sounds like a dream job.
Oh, seriously, like if you get to take a bat to somebody, like,
but it's all in the namesake of good.
True, but this is kind of like, this is starting to venture awfully close to let's put some handcuffs and get them tied to the radiator till the heroin sweats out level.
Do you remember the episode of Family Guy where Brian owed Stewie money? It'd be like that.
I don't think people are ready to get lit on fire, but like, to be fair, if I knew for a fact, a absolutely categorical fact, that someone was going to come and whoop my ass.
Yeah.
Never touch OnlyFans.
John Wick starts an OnlyFans addiction help service. You'd never.
The first time you get a warning, The second time he comes by and breaks your second favorite hand.
Yeah.
God, I would pay to watch that, actually.
But I wonder if I can do it. Because I really would. I need to just try it.
Well, I mean, they had people kidnapping people from cults for a long while, and they got paid.
Yeah.
Which, that is just... When I first heard about shit like that, I was just like, oh, so she was a Catholic. No, she was a moonbeam sunchild from the planet Zeepzort.
So I'm curious at your thoughts on this, speaking of the OnlyFans. Well, you know, you've got things like AA.
NA.
And what have you. I know that there are some groups where this is real, but I don't know how common it is. But okay, the worst idea ever, or maybe the best idea, depending on your take. Whoever came up with the fucking sexaholic, like nymphomaniac recovery group, support group. You know what I'm talking about?
I've heard of them, never been. Like I've always been worried, like
everyone just ends up fucking.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Hi, my name is Jerry, and I like to have sex. Hi, Jerry.
And then, hey, I'm Shirley. I fucked everything that's moved since as far back as I can remember.
Hell, I got that guy twice.
Hey,
just on the way
Shirley.
in.
Like, how do those groups last more than two sessions?
I really couldn't tell you because, like, all I can figure it's kind of the criminal problem whenever you play Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay. Someone in the chat just brought up a good point.
Mm.
It's probably not co-ed. Okay, yes, that makes sense.
The gays get lucky again.
It can't be co-ed. That makes a lot more sense. I don't know why I never thought of that. I'm always envisioning it as guy and girl both in the group.
Yeah, but also statistically, for you to go to one of those groups, you've got to have something like a screw loose.
True, and today, I mean, you could go with just guys. That ain't going to keep you safe with the population we got out there today.
Yeah, Jerry, it's nice to meet you.
We're literally entering the year of the gooner.
Yeah. I mean, fucking after that coffee shop incident this year.
Yeah. And we had that guy who ran up at Dollar General, busted a nut on a lady's leg, and ran away.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that happened too.
Is that recent?
I think that was last year, but yeah.
Your Honor, you don't understand. Her dress was like kind of high, a little bit.
So I'm going to give some serious thought to starting up a landing page for OnlyFans addicts. And the business model is going to be geared around tough love.
You know, you could probably hire that out to the guys in anger management. Make a mint.
Yeah, the anger. They get some therapy.
Fucking take the OnlyFans guys and then you set them up with the anger management guys and then rinse, repeat, cash the check. I need you to go and fuck this guy up. Why? Well, he voted for Joe Biden.
So we got the chat going. We just got word, apparently, the Epstein list will be released tomorrow.
Woo! Let's go!
This is going to be big if true. Big if true.
I want... It can't just be a list of names. It's got to have, like, what they did while they were on the island. That's what I want to know.
Well, okay, chat, Phil, help me with this. I'm so curious about this. Epstein list, we want the deets. It's not released. You know, we're what's the deets? A year ago, some version of the Epstein list came out and was all over Twitter. What was that? Everyone, like, every news organization was like calling it real. Is that fake?
Man.
That was the one that had Stephen Hawking, who liked to watch midgets
do
math on really tall chalkboards.
Could you imagine just being Epstein when he makes that request? He's like, look, we're fucking weird here, but even this, like...
Yeah.
I think it was just like a top 10 list of contenders, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Who could be on there? Show me Oprah.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Part of the reason that I think it's taken so long to come out, and I don't know that we'll ever get the real one. I genuinely believe people on both sides are on it. Like, I think there are going to be people close to Trump who are on that list, and that's why it's taken so long. And I think there'll be more people on the left, or your Bill Clintons and what have yous. But I just know there's going to be some people that are close on both sides.
I get a feeling that a lot of people are about to accidentally OD.
And so it's really hard to release an incriminating document when the two sides that have the jurisdiction to release it both have guys
on the list. It's like, well, you know, they could be sitting across from each other at like one of these meetings. Okay, so we're not going to go ahead and get Adam Sandler, but that means that you can't come after Barbara Streisand, all right?
Yeah.
I'd be dying.
But hell will break loose if the real shit drops.
Well, the JFK files were also supposed to be declassified.
And that's another thing. Like we've talked about how fractured trust is these days.
Mm-hmm.
If they put out the genuine, unadulterated list with details and logs,
yeah, and not even so much as a comma being changed,
and it happens to be lackluster, no one will ever believe it, even if it's true. Like, we all know, like, that Prince Andrews guy is on the list. That's a known thing. If, like, he's, like, one of three, no one's gonna believe it, even if it's true.
Mm.
So, like, we're at a point where if the list isn't crazy, no one's gonna believe it.
And even if it isn't, no one's gonna believe it just straight out, like from the get. So I feel like we're not really losing anything, you know, except for holding people accountable that need to be held accountable for that.
Yeah.
Like, I can get behind murder, but some of the shit that he was pulling, most of the shit he was pulling, it's just like a
yeah. And I'm hoping the market tanks. Somebody said the market will be affected, but who's on it? I'm like, it certainly will.
Yeah, because a lot of people are about to have to flee America.
Yeah.
This is going to be like it was 5 years ago. All right, guys, we got a whole new batch of celebrities. You've never fucking seen or heard of these people before, but here they are.
Yeah. This is America.
Don't catch you slipping, though.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's all I got. What you got?
Well, the whole $5,000 tax thing, everybody's supposed to be getting like $5,000 back.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. My heart soared when I heard that. And then I was like, I kind of reeled it back in. I was like, but what's the catch? I'm still trying to find out what the catch is.
You'll figure it out once you get the money.
This is a loan from the government. What the fuck? Who writes a letter like
and
this?
they now own you.
No, they just want the copyright for you.
They own your AI.
Oh god, that would suck ass, being born in and then already being owned. It's like, god dang it, can't catch a break.
Thanks for tuning in tonight, guys.
It's good seeing you.
For those that don't know, we're actually able to see every viewer.
Which I appreciate you putting pants on halfway through. That was real swell of you.
We'll talk about Luigi some more on the next one. There are some pressing updates.
Oh.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. So as always, be in the light.
And remember, stay positive, test negative.
Yeah.
Damn!